Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Another custom build discussion today where I'm talking through this. This is another AAP-01 that I've built. Weirdly, a lot of people love AAP-01s on YouTube. I think it's the most searched term that's actually led people to the channel. So I thought, let's do some shameless kind of plugging, try and pull as many viewers in as possible so you guys can subscribe and like and comment, etc. And I'll talk through another one of my AAP-01 replicas. This is not a real firearm. This is a toy. It's an airsoft gun. But this is actually my favorite one. It's the one that I use more than anything else in terms of the AAP-01 conversions. If you want to see another one that I've built, which is more of a pistol style AAP-01, go and have a look at the custom builds playlist on the channel, and you can there see that video. A lot of people really liked seeing that. It's probably got some more upgrades than this one does, more internally than it does on the outside. But this is actually my favorite one. So I'm going to talk through this, let you know what I've done to create this, and then I'm going to give you guys a quick fire just to kind of show you how it performs. If you have any questions, as I said, put them below. But this is another one of my custom build videos. So this is the AAP-01. I'm going to take this off, sorry, quickly, so you guys can actually see what it looks like when I'm playing with it in the field or in a game. This is based on the AAP-01. Now, it's probably that and the high cap are the most customizable airsoft pistols that you can turn, you can pretty much do anything with them. Sniper rifle might be a bit more difficult, but it's gas blowback based. And this actually here is the kind of part of the pistol that is remaining. It's actually kind of the internals as well, the bolt, etc. But you can buy this polymer pistol, the base model, for $100. And so a lot of people, when they're getting into airsoft, see it and they're like, hold on, I can get a $100 pistol, which actually performs really well. And it not only fires semi-auto, but it will also fire full auto. So you kind of get, something that's compact, something that's very affordable. It's giving you good accuracy at different ranges, and you're effectively able to get semi-auto and full auto fire from this one replica that you're kind of getting. So with that, a huge amount of aftermarket parts have come out, and that is what I've put on this to now create this as my carbine version of the AAP-01 that I have. As I said, I really love this. So what I'll do is I'll go through the changes that I've done on this. Obviously, I actually bought this from Hopup. So this is actually a second-hand replica that I got. Put some changes on it, but I've basically left it as it was. And the person that I bought it from was an airsoft tech, and so he built this out for himself, just wasn't using it. So when I saw it on there, I thought, you know what, it's quite a good price. I'm going to get this just because I like the platform and I'm going to actually use it. But really what they have done, or what I've done and they have done, is taken the base, so spend $100 to actually get the platform, the AAP-01 that is there. The big cost that has actually gone into it is which is your carbine kit that's been put on here. Now this is a cost of $210. So basically the actual pistol is $100. This actual piece on here is $210, and that basically gives me an upper receiver, and it allows me to mount this on it, which is an M-LOK rail attachment. Really, this is kind of built for your M4, kind of short PDW M4 style replica, but it allows me therefore to put on any rail that I want. This rail, I'm not actually sure this upper, what it is. I expect it's probably, or it is a replica, but it's been bolted on here. I don't actually know what it is because I didn't put it on there, but I think for about $100, you're going to be able to get that. So this upper part here, $210, it actually gives you this, which is a TDC adjustable wheel, which is to adjust your Hopup. As you can see there, there's like an up plus and a minus. So if I twist this, it allows me to put more pressure on the hop rubber inside, so putting more backspin onto the BB. That obviously is a great thing because adjusting this normally is not as easy as that. It's kind of opening up the actual replica to then adjust like a little screw. So that's great. This is actually CNC'd aluminium, so it's lightweight, it's metal. So unlike the actual base and what it comes like, it's metal that goes on there, but it's $210. And it's a lot of money for something that looks cool, is giving you a rail, is giving you a TDC hop-up, the ability to put an actual M-LOK rail, M-LOK handguard, sorry, on the front. But $210 is a lot of money, and it takes this $100 base up to $310, which is a huge amount considering, you know, what you're getting in similar performance out the box. Other things that I have done, which I really like on this, is change the inner barrel. So when you get it, it's got an inner barrel in it, but because it's a pistol, the inner barrel is very short. And so when you've got a carbine model that is like this, it's going to need a longer inner barrel. So I think I put about 200 and something millimeter inner barrel in it. That is a Crazy Jet by Maple Leaf, and that was about $40. So we're looking at $100 base pistol, $210 what's here in kind of DE copper color, $100 rail, and then an inner barrel, which is going to be another $40. So I'm not counting this up, but you guys can do that if you like. I'm going to put a list of all the items that's in this custom build below, and I'll put the cost there. So if you guys are interested or you don't want to rewatch the video, you just want to look at what it was I got, I'll put that down there so you have it. Flash hider, I'm actually not sure what this is as well. I would say that's probably going to be $20 or $30. I love this flash hider. It kind of fits the M-LOK handrail perfectly, and it just makes it look really cool. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but it's almost like that kind of mini suppressor flash hider. And I love it, but I can't find it. So if you guys are thinking, what is that in the video? I'm really sorry I can't find it. I have looked, but probably $20, $30 is what I'd expect for that. So again, it's adding up. Other things that I have done is this, which I think is excellent. This is actually the trigger, and normally it's kind of like a Glock base, so it uses Glock mags, but this trigger is more like a Glock style trigger. And when you cock the action, I've got a lever here on the side, but when you cock the action, this would normally move quite significantly forward. That is what I've done with this. So it's an adjustable trigger. You can't really see it move at all. I'll do this for you. So that's the trigger brake. Yeah, it's literally not moving. So that is the wall, bang, the trigger brake, which means that when I'm firing this, and really I use it in semi-auto, it is very short bolt actual movement, which is the stock bolt, and the actual trigger pull is so tiny that it's just a tap, 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 and it's just going. So it's probably the snappiest replica that I've got with the smallest amount of trigger movement. And I absolutely love that. So every other AAP-01 or Glock that I've had since this, I've bought adjustable triggers to put in there. Basically, it means there's this grub screw just there. You see that little hole, and you can tighten that grub screw and it will move the trigger closer and closer to that break point, so there is no take up. That one that I've got in there is a TTI, so it's the same company that make this. TTI Airsoft it's called a TTI Airsoft CNC adjustable airsoft trigger. That's $26. That's probably the thing on here that I would say is worth putting in the most. Even if you keep the actual AAP-01 stock, put in the adjustable trigger and it changes the feel of it completely. It is also fairly easy to put in. I'm not going to open this up, as I've said in other videos, makes YouTube demonetize this video. But if you're looking at a kind of a tutorial on how to open it up, change out the trigger, you can do it. You may kind of need, you need some tools to do it, but it's not the craziest tech, thing that you're going to need, a lot of knowledge to do. You can go through it on a YouTube video. You can get it done. So that I would recommend, TTI adjustable trigger. Other things that I have done is, what the tech actually did is he put a steel hammer set in there, CNC'd steel hammer set. It's from COWCOW. So that's another company that make a huge amount of upgrade parts, more internally than externally. They make triggers, etc. But that is something I would say isn't going to change the feel of the replica straight away, but it is going to increase the longevity of it. The actual AAP-01 eventually, if you're firing at full auto especially, is going to wear down those parts inside. For $100, they've done a great job, but you're not exactly going to have parts that are going to last forever. So putting in that steel hammer set is going to make it last longer. So that's something that is expensive at $50, but is something that is worth doing eventually. Probably not something you straight away need to do, but just bear in mind that is a good upgrade just to put in there. As I said, the flash hider, I don't know. The other thing that I've done is put these Talon grips on here. This actually is not made, it's a sticker. If you've seen my other pistol videos, I basically put these on everything. It's like a skateboard deck kind of literally kind of the same thing, where you put that sticker, the adhesive on the actual grip, and then use a heat gun just to kind of shrink it up to just set it in place. This is actually one that you can get from Amazon. This is $20, and I got the one that is actually made for the Glock 17. So I'll kind of give you guys a slight look at that, but it is not really built for this because it's based on a Glock and it takes Glock 17 mags. It is very similar to a Glock shape in terms of the actual pistol grip. I've cut out these little areas here. You can see there is some texturing that it doesn't really adhere to fully. But if you cut it around, you may need to just make some small incisions here just on where the mag release is. But if you've got a little blade, you can just cut through it. You use the heat gun, and it really, again, for me, just gives me so much more grip on the actual pistol, or the pistol grip on this carbine. So something for $20 I think is great. If you don't like it, you can literally pull it off. It's not like you're kind of making a forever change to this, and it's really not going to do any damage. Literally just kind of folding it around. You can see the seam line there, heat gun, and you're done. Another upgrade that I think is great and adds a lot, but some people don't like the look of it. Some people don't like the feel of it. So that's kind of up to you. So I've done the Talon grips, the folding stock, which is this. So this basically comes actually with a lower piece. I removed that lower piece just because I didn't really like it. I actually like this polymer lower piece, and this is actually made, this folding stock, by the Action Army who create the AAP-01. So it's purpose built for that. If you're trying to make this into a carbine, I would say this is great. It is polymer, but it's very well built, and it actually fits this thing perfect. It's super light, which is actually probably the main thing why I love this. It's so lightweight, and it's so easy to wield this, that it just is, it's just a pleasure to shoot it and to play with it. So I wanted to keep it lightweight. You can literally just kind of bolt it in here. The annoying thing is you kind of have to release this screw, or bolt this screw, to actually move it, kind of actually open it up. That upper and lower is going to separate with this little button here. And obviously, because this is currently fixed in place, if you're trying to open it up, remove the bolt, change anything inside, you are going to have to undo that screw and just kind of lift it up. It's not a big deal, but it's something to bear in mind. You can't just open it as you would do on probably most replicas. But I really like this. The cost of this to put it on is $42. They are sold out quite a few places, and I actually had a much bulkier stock on here that I put on. Didn't like it. It just didn't feel the same, wasn't as lightweight. A lot of the weight on this is kind of central to the replica. As you can see there, it's basically balancing, probably that's the balance point. So it is so central because the mag's in the actual grip of the pistol. That's really where most of the weight is. And so I just found that having that on the back, for me, made the entire thing a lot more balanced. It really is just so fun to play around with. So that is $42 if you want to put that on. The AAP-01 magazines themselves, these are about $35. Very easy to get hold of. You can get them on Amazon, other places. Really well built. They definitely work really well in the AAP-01. This will take pretty much any Glock magazine. So if you have an Elite Force Glock, you have any kind of replica which is a Glock with a Glock style mag, you can pretty much use them in this. So they cost $35, but if you have another Glock replica, you can take those magazines, and if you're turning this into a carbine like this, you basically have your pistol and you've got a carbine that are gonna run off the same magazines. I've got tons of Glock mags, so for me it makes a lot of sense. One thing I would say is these are only 22 rounds. So 22 rounds is not a lot when you're using this as a carbine if it's your primary. If it's a secondary like a pistol, 22 rounds is great because you're not using it that much unless you're going into buildings, you know, doing kind of CQB where your primary is too big. If you're using this in an outdoor game and people have AEGs, which are firing, you know, 100 round mags, etc., it's 100 round mags plus, then you are going to be outgunned with a 22 round mag. You can get the extended Glock 18C mags, and they make one of these for this. That's about $55, I believe. But again, that's going to be your 50 rounds. It's still not a huge amount, and that is why I actually run this in an HPA conversion, an HPA format, and I'll run you through that in a second after I've kind of talked through this. But it's 22 rounds, so you are going to need quite a few magazines if you have this. Other thing to mention is this fires full auto. So if you're going to use it full auto, which I have to say I really never do, you are going to have to use you're going to have to go through a lot of mags. Full auto, you know, it's a very fast rate of fire. So if you want to see how fast the rate of fire can be, go and watch my other AAP-01 custom build. That I've put a lighter weight bolt in it, and the rate of firing is mental. So you're going to go through a mag in like 2 seconds. This is going to be slower because I've actually got the stock polymer bolt in here, but it's still, you know, it's, if you're going to use it full auto, these mags, you've got to come up with another alternative realistically, unless you're doing kind of little strafe 3-round bursts, and then, you know, you're still going to be out of it in like 10 little shots. So those are the magazines that are going to go in there. The things that I've changed internally is actually the hop rubber. So that's a maple leaf hop rubber. Hop rubber that comes in this is fine, and actually for a pistol it works really well. But I would say as soon as you're getting a carbine kit and you're making the barrel, you know, the actual length of the replica longer, you're wanting it to shoot further and more accurately because you're in better control rather than having it on, you know, just your wrist. The Hopup and having a maple leaf in there, I think it's a good upgrade to do if you're going to do internal stuff. Probably that, and the other thing which I've done is the inner barrel. Those are the 2 upgrades I would do. The hot rubber was probably about $10 to put in there, and you can find a ton of different ones that will work. Maple leaf are great. Big ones that I like at the moment are flamingo, more in my primary kind of assault rifle style gas blowbacks, but I think you can put one in here and it'll work, especially as this is now a carbine. And I've also put a Crazy Jet inner barrel in here. That one is let me think, it's a maple leaf again, Crazy Jet inner barrel. It's about $40. So looking at the length of that, it's probably like a 200 and something, low 200s in terms of the length. You can probably look that up again just in terms of what length you're going to want to put in there. And as I said, the barrel length normally being like up to there, you know, putting that extra barrel length in is going to give you more accuracy, more consistency, and probably increase the FPS slightly, which would be great for this. So that is all the internal stuff I've done. Some exterior just add-ons that I've done is this is a UTG Picatinny rail riser. So as you can see here, it just bolts onto the top here. I like it because it keeps my sight higher, and I actually like just having my sight higher when I've got this in play. With face protection, etc., I don't like trying to hunker down, and I don't think it's really comfortable, or it doesn't when I shoulder the actual replica, it's not like the sight's automatically in my vision, or the green dot, red dot. It means that I'm having to move my head around. So I like a riser. The other thing which I think is good with this is sometimes these screws with the blowback action are going to loosen slightly, and you'll get some movement between the handrail and the actual upper receiver, which you can, you know, tighten them down, it's fine. But when I put this rail riser on, it bolts across both, and that means I'm getting zero movement between the handrail, handguard, and the actual upper. So for me, it's kind of like a 2-in-1. I've done that. I think that's probably about $20, $30. I didn't look that up, the exact price, because I've only just realized UTG logo is right there. But it says it's a UTG, and it's going to be a Picatinny rail riser. You could probably get something higher, and I would probably normally get something higher than that, but this works well with the sight that I'm using on here, which is an Osight. Now this is real steel. Osight makes some incredible tactical torches that go on your replica. Magnetic little plug into them, pressure switch. They're incredibly bright. They're very well priced, and I've used those, and I do use those on some of my other, for instance, my Mark 18, one of them I've got it on. My Sega 12 shotgun, I've got that on there as well. So I like those, and they came out with a red dot sight, or green dot sight, which is the version I've got. They came out with that fairly recently, probably about 4 or 5 months ago. So I bought one of those. It works on real steel. It's meant for real steel. It's obviously great for airsoft. I don't love it. You know, it's good and it works well. The window on it for me isn't huge, and it's kind of a, let me just see. I'm so bad at lining these up. There you go. So it's there. You can see the green dot right there. Works really well. Very clear picture, but it's kind of a bit bulky for me. I don't know if you agree. And the other thing is, this is the charging mechanism. So you charge this little cover with a USB-C. So this is charged up. It'll show you how much battery is on there. And this literally just sits on here. It'll show you how much battery the sight has actually got. And that's 100 now. It's obviously kind of like a little protective cover, but it is kind of just annoying. I kind of would prefer a model where I can just put one of those CR batteries straight into it, and then that would work. And it makes it pretty bulky. So this is great for the price. It's obviously a real steel sight for $160, which is money. Again, it's more than the actual base replica, but it's good, and I would definitely recommend it in terms of usability. Look of it for me isn't amazing, but that's all eye of the beholder. So guys may agree. Other thing is, it's kind of raised up quite a bit, which actually I think on this is great, because it almost gives me that initial Picatinny raised rail, and then I've got this as well on top. I actually had this on a pistol before. It looked far too bulky for me, but I think it fits this well. One thing I do is I like to run this sight really far forward on this replica, mainly because if I'm using it CQB, I like actually on my PDWs or shorter SMGs and shotguns to have the sight really far forward, because it means as soon as I bring it up, I have the sight in my vision. If it's kind of up here, I'm almost having to, move my head, or the more I move my head, the more I lose that sight. And I found with this, as I keep both my eyes open as it's a green dot, it just gives me a great field of view. I like it really far forward, and I do find the further forward you can get a sight, the easier they are to use. Now, you may disagree with that, but I kind of subscribe to that motto of that's how it is. So I like that a lot. The other thing with this is it's so pointy and easy that even if you're not using the green dot sight, I can kind of just, not even iron sight it. I can just muscle memory fire this one pretty easily, and it's very accurate and snappy. So even if I miss the initial, the adjustment and then that boom, boom, is just so quick that that's where I like my sight. Anyway, just waffling on. Other thing I've got here is an M-LOK, Magpul M-LOK to Picatinny adapter. That's just because I've had flashlights on this. It's kind of just useful to have, and actually weirdly I found it does, with this slant on it, kind of work almost as like a foregrip. I kind of like a little angled something to grip on, and that does that for me. Allows me to put other Picatinny mounted, under flashlights or whatever it is. Easy to remove. It's just an M-LOK adapter there. I think that's about $30 as well. I think this is a real one, so they can be more expensive. I like to buy real stuff. I think it lasts longer. I think, don't buy it twice and actually spend the money, because some of the airsoft replica stuff is going to break. So that is everything externally that I've done. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, that's probably about it. So what I'm going to talk about, guys, quickly before I give you that quick before I give you the quick fire of just, what the rate of fire and how snappy it is demonstration. What I'm going to do quickly is talk about how I normally use this, and it is not using these magazines. How I normally use this, if I'm playing outside especially, is with an HPA adapter. Now, if you don't know what an HPA is, high pressure air, it's kind of like a paintball tank, and you'll run it in a backpack or on your back or somewhere you can use it. It'll have a tank line that will come through with a regulator on it, and that will plug into something which is an adapter if you're using a gas blowback, or if you're just using an HPA rifle, it's going to go straight in there, and just basically every time you pull the trigger, it's going to put out that high pressure air, so you don't have a green gas mag like this filled with gas, and it's not getting cold, and it's not weather dependent. It is just like having almost a paintball gun feeding into your airsoft gun. Super consistent. You can get insane rates of fire. But I actually like recoil. Oh, sorry, here's another thing. I think this is about $20, which is just a charging handle, which attaches on the back of the bolt there. I think this is a COWCOW as well. I'll put that down below in the description, but I forgot to look up the price. I think that's about $25, $30. If you don't have that, it's very hard to actually cock the action, because you have to reach in here, physically grab this little area and pull it back. This makes it a lot easier, and because it's such a short bolt, it's not getting in the way of your face. You can have it on the outside, inside, wherever you want it. But I like gas blowback. This gives you very little recoil because of that very light polymer bolt, but I do like that kind of feel and that action of just hearing it go. So what a lot of people will do is they will get HPA adapters. Now I actually have two for this, and the two that I have are, number one, this. And this is from a company called Primary Airsoft. This is the first one that I got. And what's great about this is it runs in any Glock. So if you have a Glock pistol, you've got another AAP-01, whatever it is, this is a Glock mag base. That's where the airline's going to go in. And what this takes is MP5 mags. Now you can get these adapters that pretty much run most magazines. You can get this, which runs like an M4 AR style magazine. So I don't like the look of that, because when it's in here, obviously if you've got the AR style mag, it's kind of sticking pretty far out. You see a lot of people who'll do that with high cappers, but I don't like that. I really like keeping it, you know, quite small and compact. So I got an MP5 mag version. And so what I end up doing is I've got a load of these, which are the mini or micro MP5 mags. Now these hold 100 BBs. So you're going from this, which is 22 BBs, to 5 times that in pretty much the same size. And so I will just run, you know, 15 of these because it's so easy. I can put 6 in my front where I've got my AR mag stack normally for 3. I can put 6 in there. I can put 2 in each of my mag pouches on my belt. I can dump a couple in my actual dump pouch. So these are great, and it does slightly make it look like a boomerang. You know, kind of if you imagine someone throwing a boomerang, that's kind of the annoying thing. Not annoying thing, but it doesn't make it look realistic in any way. But what I would say is this thing does not get in the way at all. My airline's coming out here. I've got this little guy here. It's got a mag release right here. So instead of releasing a mag like this, which you don't want to do, it's not going to do anything. But obviously you're not replacing this. You've just got a paddle here. You're pulling this out. I can take a 100 round mag and I can use this full auto if I really want to. I don't. But it means I can go through 100 rounds. That's 100 trigger pulls on semi-auto. I've got consistent, you know, HPA performance. So that is the one that I had. The other one that I've got, which actually I kind of like more. I don't know. It's even weirder. But this is from Airtac. Airtac is who I would probably buy all of my HPA adapters from. So if you're looking at getting an HPA adapter, Airtac, which is a UK company, I'm not biased just because I'm from the UK. This is not sponsored in any way. But when I've bought HPA adapters from other companies, like TAP do some good stuff. The cost of these is higher, but I do think the quality of them is better and they seem to last longer. This is incredibly light. It's, I think, 3D printed. You put the feed lips, the gas router, the valve in there, and it's going to run perfectly. And so you're thinking, what is that? Why is there a gap in the middle of this? The reason is that this actually takes shotgun shells. Now, this isn't as good. This is a 30-round shotgun shell. So you're going to have to carry quite a few more of these, or 3 times plus 3 1/3 times more than you are of these MP5 mags, but they are tiny. And so what I'll do is if I'm just running a low a very light setup. I'll have a backpack just with the HPA tank in it, and I can just have a bag or my dump pouch or anything, and I can just have a ton of these in here. They're also super easy to reload. You just use a speed loader and drop them in here. So I've had it before where I've gone through so many BBs that I've actually just had a speed loader with me and just started speed loading 30, 30, 30. So almost reloading like you would with a gas blowback mid-game, and it's very fast to do. So this thing is, this is actually metal, so it's a similar weight to the actual real mag. This thing weighs nothing. And when it's in there, because it takes these shotgun shells, it looks like that, which again, you know, it's not going to make a big deal having that mini MP5 mag. You can do the full-size MP5 mag if you want, but it's not going to make a difference. And if I hit this little switch here, it's just going to pop straight out. I can just pop that out, grab another one, stick it straight in, pop it out, stick another one straight in, click, and it's just held in place. So this is one that I really like just because it kind of keeps it a bit more compact and looking like this. Obviously, you're not going to be putting a shotgun shell like that in the bottom of a pistol. So some people will absolutely hate that, and I completely understand why. But HPA is, I think if you're using this in a carbine model as your primary, HPA probably is a good way to do it. However, it's going to cost a load more money. Again, this is $130. So you're basically putting $130 into that. You aren't having to buy a ton more $35 mags. So, you know, if you're thinking, should I buy magazines or should I just go with this? If you're using it as a primary, I would use this and just get tons of these cheap little things. I think they're about $4 or $5 each, maybe if that. You know, you can get maybe 3 for $10. These are Cymer, these ones, or these, and I think these are about $8, $9. The MP5. These are actually metal ones. I think these are Matrix is the company that makes that. You can get like 6, I think, for maybe $50. So you're getting a lot more mag capacity if you're getting this. And this one is basically the same price. This is $135, which is the primary Airsoft one. Airtac do make one of these. This works really well, but you may want to go for the Airtac version, go for the TAP Airsoft version, whatever you're looking at. You know, but this is going to be about $135 to do it. Tank's going to be a couple of $100. The regulator's going to be $50, $60. And the airline is probably going to be $30, $40. So you're spending a lot of money, again, which, you know, if you're on this channel, you're probably used to hearing. But this turns this into a pretty cool replica that's going to do, going to perform really well and competitively against AEGs, whilst you still have the really cool snappy feeling of having a gas blowback replica. So that is pretty much what I'm going to go through, guys. I'll give you a quick just overview and show you what this is going to be like in terms of the semi and full. If you're selecting the semi or full, the rate of fire, there is like a little switch right there, and this is stock on the AAP-01, so I haven't changed that. If you flick it there, it's going to be semi. If you flick it to the other side, it's going to be full auto. So I will start with semi. I'm going to use, obviously, this magazine because I don't have my HPA adapter out. So I'm just going to make sure I didn't gas this up beforehand. I think it's got some gas in it, but I'm just going to do that. And I am going to show you guys what this is like. So I'm going to charge it. That's me releasing, let me get this for you guys. That's me releasing the bolt. And I'll try and give you just guys a... So if I'm doing this here, so you can see there just how fast it's firing, or not fast. That's how kind of the reaction speed of what it is, how snappy it is. This is going to be your full auto, which again I never really use it on. That's the bolt release there. This is going to be me pulling the trigger. You know how snappy it is, so that's it, running low on gas because I've just put tons in there. So that's kind of what you're going to be doing. As I said, if you want to see how fast these things can get, I would go to my other channel, or sorry, my other video on this channel on the other AAP-01 custom, and you can see that's probably double the rate of fire that is. You can't even see the bolt moving. And you could do that on this, but I don't really think it's necessary. So that's going to be getting through your mag right there. So if you're using HPA and you've got these 100 round MP5 mags, you know, boom, brr, boom, brr, it's usable like that. Anyway, guys, that is going to round up my carbine, custom carbine AAP-01 build. I hope you found this interesting. If you have any questions, as I said, please just put them down in the comments below and I will try and get to all of them. I answer everything on this channel. But that is me done. So I hope you guys have a great day wherever you are. I hope you enjoy going through this and have a great day wherever you are. Goodbye.